welcome to the Underground Society podcast.
What's up, Justin? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being a part. So I know you have huge collabs with some of our industry leaders, Jauz and some other people, and even up-and-comers that you've been a part of recently. And I want to get into that, but first I think it's nice to get a little background on our guests. So can we first jump into that, kind of starting off with just who you are, where you're kind of from?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Micah Martin. I'm from Bettendorf, Iowa. It's part of the Quad Cities, which is two cities in Illinois and two cities in Iowa.
Is there a lot of corn there?
Oh, yeah, dude. Like, absolutely so much corn. Dude, I actually, my windshield got cracked from a piece of corn. They're harvesting right now.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was following behind this semi that was full of corn, and like so much was in there. It was pouring out, and like it was just like
oh no,
corn hitting my windshield. So yeah, we got a lot of corn, dude. I think it dented my I put a little chip in my windshield.
So going to Lost Lands was very comparable to like kind of where you're around, what it looks like around where you're from to a certain degree.
Yeah, to a certain degree. Less like pine. There's a lot of pine trees.
There is a lot, yeah.
Less that. It's just more just flat corn and flat land and corn and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm from Iowa. I make music. I do vocals for, like you said, a lot of the industry leaders and like especially the dubstep scene.
Yeah, you've done even for Kayzo. Name off a couple. Jauz, Kayzo. There's a couple others too.
Zomboy.
Yeah.
Arm & Hammer.
Yep.
Spaghetti. Slander. I mean, yeah, dude. The list goes on.
What does the day in the life kind of look like for you? What, other than when you're driving or traveling or whatever for shows? When you're home, what does your day-to-day kind of look like as a vocalist?
Yeah, so as a vocalist, I'll get down to the studio, probably around afternoon time. I still help out. So my grandpa has a water softening business here in Iowa, and I still help him out with that. So you could call it a 9 to 5, but I take days off all the time, and it's actually pretty cool working for family because they allow you to take time off whenever you really need to. So yeah, I do that as well.
Kind of comparable to almost being self-employed, like you're working for your family.
It really is.
Can I dip? All right, bye.
Exactly. But yeah, I'll go down to the studio. Dude, our studio just it's in the basement of this old building that was built in the 1800s. It was a mall, or our studio is in the shoe department of what was once a mall in the 1800s.
Interesting.
Or not really a mall, just a shop, I guess.
Okay.
Malls were a relatively newer thing. But yeah, so we had a flood in our studio.
Oh,
and
shit.
I thought it was just like rainwater because it was raining really bad.
Right.
Dude,
a pipe break or something, or what?
The septic backed up, dude.
Oh,
so there's pieces of bring corn back in, dude.
Gross.
There was pieces of corn and toilet paper floating around, dude. The smell was incredible. Yeah, and so we just set up 10 dehumidifiers, and this is right before I left the Lost Lands. I'm like, oh. I'm so yeah.
Not good timing.
Not good timing. So we kind of just got all the musty smell out of the studio. I sprayed bleach everywhere. We kind of cleaned everything up. So, So a day in the life of me is usually just cleaning the studio, setting it up, and then just hitting record and just seeing what I come up with. It's actually pretty cool. How I write, I'll listen to a song. I'll listen to the first minute or so of it, and I'll stop listening to it. And I'll be like, okay, listen, if I want to work on it, if I decide I want to work on it, I'll be like, I'm going to put a pause in this, wait till I get down to the studio, figure out the key, figure out the BPM, put it in a Logic file, and then I'll just start hitting record, because you're never going to get that first listen back.
Yeah.
After hearing it. And so a lot of the melodies I carve out are from my first listen. And sometimes even if I have an idea or something, I'll take out my voice notes on my iPhone and just mumble, just different ideas and thoughts or different topics. I'm a huge melody writer when it comes to songwriting. I don't really write lyrics down ever. I just go into the booth, punch in, come up with a cool melody, be like, oh, what rhymes with that, and kind of just build off of what I'm feeling in my heart at the moment.
There's kind of two ways to go about writing when you're a top line vocalist. One is you're listening to the melody what's already produced, and you're writing down, you're writing as your thoughts come to mind. But then the way you do it, just kind of by feel, and like you do it in the studio, and like you said, you don't write anything down. So that's super interesting, man.
Yeah, it's super, like, my management's always on my ass about, like, yo, write your lyrics down, because people, like, I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I just, like, because, I mean, when I'm in the zone, like, I can crank out, like, in a week, like, maybe 5 songs, I mean, I could do a song a day, really, but, like, a lot of my time goes into, like, okay, like, I'll have, like, 4 different versions of a verse, and like different ways to sing it, and like I'll kind of like play back and listen to the like what I think is the best one, and then I share a studio with my bandmates, so my bandmates will come down. And
I was
be
gonna
like,
ask you that too. Yeah.
I was like, so what do you guys think? Yeah. So we're kind of on a hiatus right now, just because of after COVID, we kind of just like went to focus on ourselves, and like I mean, because I had a really dope setup right before COVID hit. I had a publishing deal on the table with a really big company. I was looking at apartments in LA, and like, yeah, I wrote that "Kill Me Better" song for Trevor Daniel and Don Diablo, and like that got me a really big like offer. But I didn't really want to be a songwriter, because I'm more of a performer than anything, and I'm just like. So I was like, that's not how I really wanted to do it, but I was like, hey, I have the opportunity.
Down. Yeah.
I'm down. Like, so yeah, all that stuff happened. We were in the final stages of the contract negotiation, and the world shut down. And I was like, okay, well,
I guess that's not happening.
So I guess it's going back to Closet Studios in Iowa. Just like, 'cause I was living at an apartment at the time, and I was like, I had my own like mobile recording unit like in my closet with like moving blankets and everything, and that's how I wrote that song "Kill Me Better," was just in my closet in Iowa. And then I was at Walmart one day shopping, and I could hear my song on the radio. I was like, that's pretty cool.
That's sick. How is that feeling, like when you like actually hear yourself? You're like, I'm in the grocery store and I hear my voice.
I'm not counting that yet, because it wasn't my voice. It was Trevor Daniel's voice, but it's my lyrics and melody that I wrote. So I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's just as good as the feeling. But I really want to be like, yo, this is me. Like,
yeah, literally me, yeah.
Yeah, that was me in a way, like as a ghostwriter or something. But yeah, well, not even a ghostwriter. My name's on the credits and everything.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was just,
yeah,
it was like super cool to have that feeling. But I'm still waiting for the day when I can just hear my own voice. I mean, that's happened with Rocket League. I download Rocket League, and the first song that played was "I Won't Make a Sound" with Arm & Hammer and Nurko. And dude, yeah, that was a crazy feeling. Like being able to tell people that my song is the startup song for Rocket League. Like that is like one of my goals for this year was to have a song on like a Madden or like a FIFA. But almost Rocket League is like almost bigger than that.
Yeah, because it's an online
it's like a
platform and
wider
people play it. Yeah, yep.
Yeah. And I was like, okay,
I'm not
that works.
I'm not a gamer myself, but I just think that's so cool that like Rocket League and Fortnite and games like that include like work with Monster Cat closely. And I know you. I'm sure that song came out on Monster Cat, right?
Yeah. So actually, shout out to Monster Cat for every video game placement. Well, yeah. I mean, probably like 90% of my video game placement came from Monster Cat. Like I got
such a cool thing for all the artists, especially in the EDM industry, where like you're not a Drake, you know what I mean? But like the fact that you can still have that opportunity, yeah,
it gives everyone that like see like what we were talking about earlier, like not being cut out for this industry. It's like, dude, it's like if you just hold out like a little longer and like deal with getting screwed over and not letting it affect you in like a negative way, like you learn from it at least. You could get stuff like this. Like, dude, I was tone deaf 10 years ago. I couldn't sing at all.
Really?
Like, I never was a singer. No, dude, I was a guitarist.
How did that develop?
So, all right, I guess we'll just kind of get into, like, how I started music. Like,
yeah.
So, my grandma, when I was, like, 10 years old, bought me, like, a first act guitar for Christmas.
Okay.
I didn't know how to play that. I was just, like, so jacked on it, though. I was like, yes. I'm like, this is so cool. Like, I remember being in like fourth grade, like bringing my guitar to school and not knowing how to play it, like, but just like knowing that this, like, dude, a girl sat on my lap, dude. A girl sat on my lap, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is exactly what I want to do.
This is all I need.
Dude,
I'm satisfied. This is
yeah, I'm in fourth grade experiencing like early puberty, and like a girl sits on my lap while I'm holding a guitar. I'm like, okay, like I'm trying not to pass out at Christian school, but like, so my neighbors growing up, or just my neighbors down the street, they lived like 2 blocks away. They were kids my age, and they were Ryan and Adam, and Ryan was the kid that was my age, and Adam was his younger brother, and I had a younger brother that was the same age as his younger brother. So we were just mob out. Like we always would ride bikes, go off our X Factor ramps as hard as we can. Like, we were just kids, dude. And when I got a guitar, their parents bought them a guitar, and then they bought Adam a drum set. Yeah, and then I would just ride my bike over to their house, and like we would start jamming. And
was that who eventually became your band?
Yeah. So like and it's actually funny because we learned. I got guitar lessons, and the guitar teacher said, "Yo, like he's not gonna learn guitar. Like this kid can't learn." And I really kind of took that like as like wow. I'm like, dude, screw this guy. Like, so I learned guitar tabs, and I taught myself how to play guitar, and I can still play pretty good, but not as nearly as good as Ryan and Adam, like their talent level. Like, I focused all my energy on vocals and trying to become a better frontman and all that stuff. But, so Ryan and Adam, their parents were pastors, and so the church needed a worship band. So we were like,
let's do it.
12, 13 years old, like learning songwriting structures from honestly like praise and worship music is there to invoke emotion. Like it's there to make you feel something.
I grew up a Christian as well. I still am. So
yeah. So it's like we learned really good core songwriting skills and didn't even know it. Like we're learning like all these crazy like awesome songs that we would just rip at church, and then after church was over, everyone would leave, and we'd like try to write our own music. So that's kind of how I got into like wanting to do vocals, is because Ryan and Adam, they ended up moving down to Atlanta in high school. And I remember being like super tough because they were like my best friends. Like,
right, yeah.
And now they're like moving across the country kind of, and I'm like, damn, like this sucks. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own band. I'm gonna do my own thing. So in high school, I wore girl jeans, and I went to an abandoned building, took some photos with some friends, and we started a band called Running with Scissors.
Oh man.
And yeah, dude, it was super cool. Like
that's a cool name, actually. It's like
dude.
Like...
yeah, and I just remember everybody they were like making fun of us, like they wear girl jeans. Like we bought like girl jeans from Hollister because I worked there in high school. Yeah, I worked at Hollister, dude. It was weird. I was like the alt model as a kid. Yeah, it was fun, dude. But yeah, so like I would do my own bands, and I bought this like live auto tuner that like you know the band Attack Attack?
Yep.
So I saw Attack live, and that's actually what got me into doing what I do today, is because I saw them live, and it was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And so that night, it was a school night. I saw Attack in Iowa City, and it's like an hour away. So I drove all the way to the show, drove an hour back home. My dad's up watching football. So I'm like, Dad, listen, this guy's got like a live auto-tune, like pitch correction machine that I could use for my live show. It's only
try it out.
It's like $280 on eBay. And I like found it. Like, and he goes, nah. It's like, seriously? And I'm like, please, Dad. I'm like, I will use this every single day. I'm like, dude, I was such like a, please. Like,
please.
I've never really begged my parents for something like this. Like I never begged them for anything. So like eventually my dad's like, all right, like I'll buy it, but you better fucking use it. And so, dude, it came in the mail, and that's all I did. I didn't know how to sing. So I had a live auto tuner that would like, I could just play in a certain key, and my vocals would sound perfect. And I could hear in my ears like when I was off tune, and I would learn how. So it's like I basically
basically
learned how to sing because of pitch correction.
And you taught yourself through that method, yeah.
Yeah,
That's dope.
And I would do like vocal warm ups every day, like the yeah.
You were dedicated.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah,
Hell
like,
yeah.
so I like just started doing that, and then started playing shows. Dude, like my first 5 shows, I didn't know you're supposed to get paid afterwards. Like I would just like, like one of them was with a ska band that like drove like 5 hours to like a place called Mixtapes in East Moline, Illinois. And like I would just like I remember we played with the ska band, and I remember everybody yelling at everybody, "Get in here! This guy sounds like T-Pain." And I was like just like writing just crazy songs. Like didn't even I was like just like making up shit as I go just because it sounded cool. Like it was funny. Like and I'm obviously like. Not everyone loved it. Like people were just like,
right.
"Yo, this is absolutely terrible." But like me, I'm like, "Yo, like I'm doing it. Like I'm playing shows by myself. Like my friends just moved to Atlanta, and I'm sticking
still doing
with
it.
the
Yeah,
fight.
that's dope.
Yeah, dude. And I remember we played that show at the ska band, and like I got done playing, and they were setting up, and I was the only person left at the venue, and I just started leaving because I had school the next day, and they're like, "What? You're leaving?" I was like. Yeah, I was like, gotta go to school in the morning. Sorry, guys.
You're lame.
And like as I'm walking out, I just hear like the like they're just starting to play some ska music, and I'm like, oh gosh, like. But hey, they got my money.
Yeah,
because I didn't know you get paid at the end of the show, so I would just like leave.
So how did that transition? How did you get involved with EDM then?
Dude, it's actually pretty funny.
It's like all of a sudden you started popping up in like some like massive songs, and I'm like, this guy has a phenomenal voice, but I don't even know like where'd you come from,
dude. I'm from like I said, I'm from Iowa, dog. Like so my whole life, like I knew I wasn't gonna get signed or be on a label or anything like that because I'm from Iowa. Like no one wants to like mess with someone from Iowa. Like I mean, unless you're like really good, and I'm like I'm not good. So, it actually started like when I was doing like I would do like HTML coding for people's MySpaces and like design like MySpace pages and stuff. Like I got pretty good with Photoshop. I learned how to make logos. I learned how to record myself. Like this is all stuff that I was like a label does. I'm not going to be signed to a label anytime soon, so I learned how to DIY everything. And so it's actually I'm pretty thankful for that because it's like it taught me how to use all this recording stuff that I have in front of me right now, like to, be able to do this and stuff. So it's, I started doing that. I've been in rock and roll bands my whole life. Like that's been like what I wanted to do. Like I just want to make it with my boys. Like eventually, like Ryan and Adam moved back to Iowa from Atlanta.
Okay.
And so that's where we picked up and like we started, doing the band and, I was about probably like 4 or 5 years into like taking the band stuff really seriously, and I started to do covers on YouTube. I did one cover.
Okay.
And it was a Bring Me the Horizon cover. Throne.
Oh, great song.
And
I love that.
Yeah, dude. I got hit up by this kid who wanted to like remix my vocals and put it in an EDM song. And I was like, I never really thought about that. This is like 2015, 2014. And I'm like, dude, I've never really thought about electronic music like that. Like, sure. Like, so I gave him the acapella. And then he sends me something, or then he doesn't send it back. He just, the next thing you know, it gets uploaded to a YouTube channel and it got like 1 million plays in like
holy shit
2 days. And I'm like, okay.
That was a good move. Thanks.
And he was like, do you want to do an EP? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I get home. He sends me like 6 songs, and I just start doing what I do to like rock and roll songs, but to electronic songs. And so I'm recording vocals for this track, and I'm on Facebook one night, and I'm in the studio. I'm listening to what I recorded, and I did my first ever video mix where I'm like recording my like I'm like with the studio speakers and like what I'm working on in the project file, and I'm like making it like move, like making it look smooth. and I uploaded the video of what I did that night to a Facebook group called EDM Bedroom Producer, and it was a huge group. It had like 34,000.
It was a funny name. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, dude, it had like 34,000 members. It's probably got quadruple that now.
Yeah,
but
they're still around. Yeah,
dude, it was like 34,000 members all over the world, and I uploaded it at night, right when people in Europe were waking up. So I go to bed, wake up the next morning to like 400 DMs, like 300 friend requests, a bunch of comments of people just like begging to like have my vocals on the track, and I was like, oh shit. Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
So I just went down the line. I said $200, $200, $200, like every person. But I ended up screwing myself over. A lot of those songs from that $200 batch initially, I sold all my rights for some of those songs.
Fuck.
And some of those songs grossed over like, altogether probably like $400,000 that I'm just never gonna see.
Rip,
dude.
Bro. Holy shit.
Dude. So it's like Deal or No Deal. Like, let's see what you had. Oh, you had the $20, or you had the $1,
yeah.
and that suitcase had the $1 million.
When that time happened, did you have any like
no
business
no, dude,
idea behind you, or were you just like, nah, fuck it, or
Bro,
you just didn't know?
I had no idea.
Okay.
I literally woke up to people begging for my vocals, and I was just like, haha, you guys are idiots. $200.
Yeah. $200. But
yeah,
and then they're making like a bunch of money off of it from streams and fuck.
Well,
dude,
and some of the I'm still going back and dealing with like collections and some of those, because like some of those people have made it right with me.
That's cool.
Some of those people have like said, or at least acknowledged it, or at least put me in the metadata on Spotify, dude. I have probably, I think the last time I checked, I have 60 songs on Spotify that my name isn't mentioned anywhere, and it's my voice, and like no one can like tie it to me at all.
I feel like I've heard at least a song that like I was like, is this Micah Martin? But I didn't say her name.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Like that could be one of them, dude. So it's like, dude, I got so many, and then on top of that, there's so many sleeper songs that like I wrote back then that still have never came out.
I guess the other way to look at that though is like, though
exposure tokens.
Yes, you got a lot.
I did get exposure tokens.
So it's like, dude. I don't know if like. I mean, you'd probably still be in the same position if you were collecting the money and you had the royalties and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
At least you got like the exposure, and like then you got the opportunities like Jauz, Slander, like some of the big boys in EDM too, and Don Diablo and stuff.
Right.
So like to a certain degree, it's like it still did something for you. So
yeah.
And
another big one too I got out of there was a collab with Brooks.
Okay.
And it confused a lot of people because my little brother's name is Brooks. And so when people saw this track, it was Brooks, Hold It Down, featuring Micah Martin. And everyone's like, dude, I didn't know your little brother produced. I'm like, no, this is like one of Martin Garrix's best friends in like Europe that produces Future Bounce and Future House. Like, this isn't him.
When did like Monster Cat notice you, and how did you? Because I know I don't know. I feel like the majority, the larger majority of songs that you've done have been a lot with like artists who have released on Monster Cat, and
yeah. So I think the first, I could be wrong. I think they have a Monster Cat wiki about this too.
Okay.
My first ever song on Monster Cat was Holy with Kayzo and Slander.
Oh, sick. That's an old song. Holy shit, when was that?
That was like 2017. 17?
Yeah.
Hold on. Holy, dude, we're gonna go to the book. Oh, it's almost coming up, 10/27. So in a couple anniversary coming up. Not bad.
I just talked to Slippy yesterday because he's done a lot of work with Monster Cat, like almost primarily with Monster Cat, and I know you've worked with him too.
He's a great dude. He's a great producer. He's a great guy.
Technically, just really smart, really smart dude.
Yeah. He's actually. There was a time where we were like working on a beat for my solo project right now that I'm working on. Yeah, I need to hit him back up and figure out what we're gonna do with that, because we had a really cool like guitar, like kind of like a Juice WRLD guitar trap thing going. That was really dope. And I actually just forgot about it now until you brought him up.
Excellent.
So
I'm glad I
hit
did.
him up. Yeah, you jogged my memory.
Man, even though you've had all these like opportunities with like some like major artists and stuff like we've mentioned, you mentioned that one of the hardest part about your journey was feeling like sometimes you get like groomed by other people in the music business. Can you kind of like first of all, what do you mean by that?
So I'm gonna refer to this now instead of groom because that sounds a little like
Rapey,
pedophile,
yeah.
yeah, a little rapey. I'm just calling it people rubbing our shoulders.
Okay.
You ever have someone like just the image of somebody rubbing your shoulders, like, yeah, we're gonna take real good care of you.
Yeah.
Like like just hey, we're gonna just sign here, and don't worry about it. Like we got you. We're gonna make you. We're gonna take you where you need to go. And it's just like just I've heard so many like artists like promise to bring me out on the road, promise to have me sing with them at festivals, and even like that's been like a huge negotiation tool in like writing some of these songs is like, like I'll do this for this if you do this, and like have me come out and sing it live with you. And I've had a lot of people like stand me up, and like a lot of people not respect me at all. Just I found out recently that I'm like a butt end of a joke to some other artist, and I was like, wow, that hurts.
Really?
All I ever did was write music. Like, so I don't know. Like, I've always tried to like treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Obviously. Like
comes around, goes around. Big believer in karma.
Yeah. Karma is a bitch, dude. It is a bitch. So that's why I, whenever I work with somebody and like, some of these things that I've been screwed over for and have been taken advantage of, it's like, if it was me on the other end and I found out that someone was going, like, artist that I worked with wasn't getting paid, wasn't getting, the respect, was like, I'll be like, yo, I'll stop. Let's figure this out. Take care of my boy. And, some artists just never do that. Like, right. I think some of these artists in the industry right now, it sucks to say, and it's not by any means most, it's some. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of great artists that are just beautiful people that are just here to help and like here to build themselves and build a relationship. But some people's MO, I think, is just to burn people out to where they quit the music industry. And we were just talking, that's how we started this whole conversation, really, is like, but because some of these people have a paper asshole. I heard that term the other day, a paper asshole.
What does
just
that
I
mean?
have no idea, but it just means it's like I think it means that they're not tough. I think because I said a calloused asshole earlier.
Got it, yeah.
Because you get screwed over a lot, and you got to be able to take it. You got to be able to like deal with it and roll with the punches. But some of these people, they got paper assholes. That's like such a terrible analogy, but yeah. So that's what I think is some of these artists, their MO, or they get off on just burning people out.
Yeah. And
it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of artists just like a lot of great vocalists too that just quit because of, issues with, I didn't get a contract for this song, or I'm not being paid royalties, and I'm in just like it just sucks to see that some people will just fold like that. Yeah. But then again, to each their own. If everyone has their own shit, like it affects everybody differently. Like I just had an artist, I'm not gonna say who, but I just had a vocalist reach out to me for a very similar situation of what happened to me with another artist that we both worked with, and like, dude, it ended up being like a 2.5 hour phone call with like me choking up, like telling this dude I love him, and I'm like, yo, like I just got done dealing with this. Like I've been dealing with this alone. I had no idea that there was more of us. And it was like validating. Yeah. Absolutely validating. Like I thought that I did, like, dude, it's just like, man, it sounds like, I thought it was my fault, but like, yeah, it did. Like I was like in my own head. I'm like, what could I have done different? Like, did I say this? Did I say that? I was like, no, it would have happened eventually because this person just went through the same exact thing to the fucking T. Yeah. Except it was bad. And but yeah, I'm glad that we talked it out and we got to, like get to know each other, A. Right. And like B, like figure out, okay, Like, it's not just me. Your feelings are valid. Like, this is definitely something that I've gone through, and now we're just like here as like console, like for each other, just like to console and talk about these things, because it can get rough, dude. This industry can get really dark.
Yes.
Really dark, dude.
I didn't know how dark it could get until I started my own, doing my own thing and running the podcast and stuff, and like kind of started seeing a lot more of the back end. I'm like, holy shit, dude.
I got a funny dark story.
Yeah, go for it.
It's not okay. Well, I didn't sign an NDA. I can talk about it. All right, so dude, okay, so when I was in my rock and roll band, I'm not going to say what contest, but you can, if you do your research, you can kind of really figure this out. There was a competition across America, like who is like the next rock band, and every state submitted their own band. We won for Iowa, and then they're going to take the top 5 out of the country, fly them out to LA to perform at the Roxy in Hollywood. And we ended up being one of the bands that they picked to fly out. And like,
oh, sick.
The judges were Jonathan Davis from Korn, Chris Jericho from the
Holy
WWE,
shit.
Desmond Child, he wrote like Living on a Prayer.
Oh yeah.
Scott Borchetta and John Barbados, like fashion boys.
Wow, yeah.
And like label owners, Big Machine label group. Dude, it was like crazy, man. Like, so we get down, we land in, Los Angeles, and we had like a fucking limo picks us up, takes us to the West London in Hollywood. And like there's like a mandatory like band meeting with like all the bands that just flew in like 40 minutes, and like we just got to the hotel. We're from Iowa. I'm like, dude, let's go to our first dispensary like right now. So like
now
we're sprinting around Hollywood, like using old like we went to like a place that said it was a weed store. We get there and it's just like a Jamba Juice. And like there's a guy reading a newspaper. I'm like, where's the weed? Like I'm just screaming at him, and he's like,
where's the
it's
weed?
over there.
Over there.
It's like the green cross over there, dude. And I'm like, okay, cool. So like
weed maps, bro. Got to download the app.
I mean, dude, we were just kids from Iowa. I was in a coonskin hat. Running around downtown Hollywood trying to find a weed store with my boys. And we found one, and we got like, we were like lighting up some pre-rolls as we were walking like up to the hotel, and we could see all the bands are just getting ready for the meeting, and like we put it out, and we walk in just high as hell, like we walked in as a unit, dude, in his presence. So like we're like, dude, we're like sizing up the competition. I'm like, dude, we fucking got this. I'm like, dude, we're gonna win, dude. Like the winner got signed to this label, and it was gonna be like this huge like crazy thing, like, and like I'm like, dude, we're gonna do it. We're gonna win. So they take us over to the Rainbow Room for the first night before the competition for like this huge dinner, and like I'm eating like we're eating like kings, dude, in front of the life-size Lemmy statue right there, and I'm just like, dude, this is crazy. Like I'm in LA with my boys, downtown Hollywood, and we're about to play the Roxy tomorrow, and they put us up in a suite at the West London. So like I'm walking around in a bathrobe at night, like just really living it up, dude. So it was a band from Illinois that was the other. So it was the Iowa and Illinois boys, because we had to fly to O'Hare and then from O'Hare to LA. So we flew on the same flight as the Illinois band. So like we're like talking shit, but like we're like, they're all cool, like we're all dope. They're just like yeah. I'm like, well, that's gonna suck when you guys get second place. Like we're just we're all just we're at the airport Chili's like with them, like just talking shit. So the competition comes, and this first band goes out, and the judges just destroy them. And I'm like, no. We're next. Yeah. And I'm like, oh,
we're fucked.
Like, they started. So we went up, because we only have to play 2 songs. So we played our 2 just boppers, just boom, boom. No backtracks, nothing, like just raw rock and roll. And like we were the only band there that didn't have like backing tracks with backup vocals, and so it was all raw. And like they fucking loved that. Like they were just like, yes. They're like, yo, yes. Like, this goes to show that you don't need backtracks to sound like a good band. The only thing they ragged on me was me being overweight and wearing a hat, and like that's. I feel like they had. I feel like they had to say something, and I'm just like, all right. I was like, damn.
Don't know why that matters, but cool.
I'm like, dude, you guys fed me that meal yesterday, you know. And I think it was super cool to watch Jonathan Davis from Korn just really say that he loved it and enjoyed every second of it.
That's
and I
a
was
huge
like,
compliment from someone of that stature. Holy
shit.
It
was an out of body experience for sure. And I'm just like, oh my god. I'm like, Jonathan Davis just said he likes my songs, and the only thing was too is what was it? Chris Jericho. He bashed our structuring for our songs. He goes, I didn't like the structures. But then Desmond Child at the end was like, I thought the structures were fucking awesome. Your drummer's insane. Everything you guys did was perfect. And then Chris Jericho chimed back and he goes, well, if Desmond Child likes the structure, then I like the structure too. What do I know? And like everyone starts cheering. And like we get off stage and I'm side stage with my boys. I'm like, dude, we fucking won, dude. I'm like, dude, we got this. And then, the rest of the bands play, and then the last band to play was the band from Chicago, and they just absolutely shredded. Like it was like a 6-piece band with backing tracks, and they had like everything backtracked, like vocals were backtracked. It sounded so dope. Like it sounded great, but like it was more of a pop band than a rock band, and I was like, whatever. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so at the end, they get done playing. One of the MC comes out and he goes, all right, guys. He goes, it looks like it's between the two bands flying back home to Illinois. So us versus them. And they ended up winning. And I was like, whatever. I'm like, we got second place at a battle of bands at the Roxy. Like, that's still kind of cool. And so, we're all chipper, having a good time. They carted the whole band off into a back room to sign the contract, and the whole thing was being live streamed with like lights and like a boom mic, and bro, like this whole it was all being like live streamed for the label, and that's the last I saw is that I'm getting carted off to go sign the contract, so I just start getting fucked up. Like I'm like, yeah, this is my last night here. Like let's get drunk, dude. So. We're drinking, about an hour goes by. We go to the bar across the street, and I see the singer of the band that won, like, lighting up a cigarette outside. So I go outside to talk to him. I'm like, yo, dude. I'm like, congratulations, bro. He goes, bro, this is fucking insane. I was like, what? Like, what's going on? He goes, they carted them away from the stage, live streaming, brought them into a room, and on the table was a contract all lit up for all them to sign. And they blocked their manager from getting into the room. So they're trying to have them sign this contract without their manager.
Without their manager, yeah, fuck that.
And they're live streaming it, and they said there was a guy that came in through like a side door with like a bunch of like male prostitutes hanging off of him. This is what he's telling me. He goes, oh, like 6 or 7 male prostitutes, and everyone kept saying, it's the Godfather. The Godfather's here. The Godfather. Dude, I'm not kidding. Like this is
what the hell?
They're like, the Godfather's here. Like it was like one of these things, and like so the Godfather's there apparently, dude, and he's here with some boys, and so these guys are like, they see that out of the corner of their eye, and then now they got like a live stream in their face. They're handing them pens to sign, and they just go, oh, we can't sign this without our lawyer present. And they go, well, where's your lawyer? Well, he's in Chicago. You didn't bring him? No.
No.
Well, here, just sign it for the live stream. Just sign it for the live stream.
No.
Dude, they shut off all the cameras. They fucking all the judges storm out.
Holy shit.
I forgot what judge went up to him, but he goes, oh, you guys just fucked up big time. And like just like oh, in front of the Godfather, dude. And so the Godfather leaves out the same door he came in with his boys, and so they're like, now they're freaking out, like they're scared. obviously.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be kind of terrified, too.
Yeah.
So they're like, yo, let's go back to our hotel room. Let's reconvene. Let's talk. Let's talk as a unit, okay? So so while I'm getting trashed at the bar, they're running out the back door, running to the London, West Hollywood, to their room, and, like, to go have a band meeting. And they said when they unlocked the door, one of the judges, they didn't tell me what judge. They said one of the judges was sitting in the dark on the sofa.
What the hell?
In the corner of their room. And when they turned the lights on, he stood up and said, you guys just pissed off the Godfather. You have no idea what you guys have done. And left the room.
Oh, my God.
And so
terrifying.
after that, they just said, let's not meet at the place that they bought us. Like,
Yeah.
let's get out of here, dude.
Let's go.
So that's when I ran into him at the bar, and he goes, and now we're here.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, oh, my God, dude. This industry is shady.
What was your predictions of, like, what potentially could happen after that?
Okay, so the rules say if they don't sign in the first 48 hours, it goes to the runner-up. So I'm like, yeah, dude, I wouldn't sign that shit.
Yeah, don't do it.
I'm like, dude, don't sign that. I'm like, dude, we got this. So I tell all of our bandmates, I'm like, guys, they're not signing. They're refusing to sign, dude. We're up, dude. We're up. Like, and so next morning, I go down to breakfast with a coonskin hat, yellow banana swim trunks, and cowboy boots, and it's a fancy
Savage.
hotel, dude. Like, and there's like businessmen there reading their paper and on their laptop, and I'm coming down like just loading up plates of bacon, sausage, next to a fruit bouquet of just, and I see the band, and they look like they haven't slept.
Oh, no.
And I walked up to them. I was like, "What's up, winners?"
What's up, winners?
I was like, "Are you guys ready for our flight home today?" And they're like, "They canceled our flight home, dude."
What the hell?
I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, dude." He goes, "They're making us stay here until we can figure out this contract." And I was like, "Oh." I look over. There's a private dining room. And the door's just adjacent a little bit, and I see, like, all the band members sitting in there with all the judges. And I'm like, oh, my God. Dude, this is crazy. Dude, yeah, so that's, like,
Man.
yeah, we ended up flying home, and they ended up keeping them there for, like, a couple
Holy
days,
shit.
dude. Yeah.
Damn. That's rough.
Yeah, that's kind of, like, one of the dark industry stories I have.
After experiencing things like that, have you grown like a spidey sense to like when people might be trying to like
and
do shady shit to you?
And it sucks because like I am such a trusting, loving, like puppy, like, dude, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you want to help? Yeah, like, oh, like how much candy's in the van? Like, so like, dude, like, yeah, but I've had low like personal awareness like my whole life because I feel like it's just kind of like my ADHD and like
ADHD.
yeah,
gang.
yeah, dude, like it's just like I'm always like, I'm everywhere, but yeah, I definitely has like I'm a lot more leery, and I'm a lot more like my eyes are peeled a lot more than usual.
I have to say, on the flip side of that coin, are you able to tell a little bit easier when people are actually trying to be genuine and like?
Oh, dude, yes.
Okay.
But I have seen that where it felt so genuine, but the person was just a psychopath.
Yeah,
literally.
the master manipulator.
Yeah, and I'm just like, whoa, yo. I'm like, that guy knew my Facebook password.
Oh, shit.
Like, dude, yeah, I don't know. Dude, it's been pretty crazy.
Been a wild
Yeah,
ride.
but what a better industry to learn life lessons from than the music industry. I feel like, being in this industry, you have to like, everything that's in person is so much better. Like you can't tell if someone's being genuine or something over a text or over a message.
Yeah.
Really getting to know the person and like being there one-on-one is what I've learned is a huge thing. Like that's kind of why I eventually like want to relocate from Iowa, because it's like, dude, I have such a fun time with all these awesome people, and then it's like, oh, I gotta go home. Like we live in an age where anybody can message anybody, but I've had people that I've sent so many emails and so many messages to, and then eventually like they follow me one day just from meeting me backstage at Lost Lands, or something. And yeah, it's just super cool because like being in person is so much better than being in online presence. So, and I feel like that's how I get most of my business done nowadays. It's just by going to these festivals and going to these shows. Anytime there's a show in Chicago, I only live 2.5 hours away from Chicago, so it's like people ask me like, "Where are you from?" Like, it's a suburb of Chicago called Iowa.
Iowa.
So I'll just go down there for shows all the time, and get to meet all these wacky, crazy, zany characters.
Yeah,
yeah, man, it's fun though.
Kind of circling back to the shady intention people out there. Who have you seen the most of that with? Artists, labels, managers, more on people on the business side, production people? Who
labels, managers, and then artists.
Okay.
So labels definitely, like I've seen labels completely inflate their in-house costs for certain for certain things like album artwork that costs like $4,000. It's like, dude, I could have done that in Microsoft Paint. Like, yeah, what? That's not $4,000. I've seen managers sometimes just be a fall guy for the artist, so, but I've seen a lot of artists too that just are, I think, like I said, their MO is to burn people out. But I have seen more of it with labels. Yeah. That is probably the biggest thing, is just keeping your eyes peeled and like knowing, like now I can look at a contract for like a standard agreement, like a top line agreement or like a contract for a song that comes out, and I can understand it now. I can literally read it and like understand probably like 75% of the legalese just from having so many songs in release. Right. So like having that knowledge and like being able to like and if I could give any advice to any other like artists out there, if you're just starting, keep half, dude, keep 50-50 everything. Like, dude, even if you don't, like, if you're newer, one of the things I wish I did, instead of charging $200 for all those songs that I lost a lot of money on, if I would have just been straight up and be like, yeah, let's just do a 50-50 splits. Yeah. That's what I should have done. But instead I basically got paid $200 for a song that grossed like $400,000. Yeah. Like, so yeah, we live and learn, but yeah, just keep half of your shit. Like if you and someone else are working on it and it's just two people and you're writing the vocal or something, keep half. Yeah. Be fair. If there's 3 people, 33, like, and so on and so forth. Like, just make sure everybody's taken care of. Yeah. Yeah, and all your bases are covered. Because, that is one thing that I wish I could go back and, like, put myself in a headlock and be like, you're going to want to keep your publishing on this one, bud. Yeah.
But, like you said, you live and you learn. Well, we are getting to our hour, so I don't want to take too much of your time. But I did want to ask you, because I know you also have a podcast, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that.
Yes, dude.
Just kind of started that. What's kind of the premise of the show? What do you guys talk about? What do you guys do? What's the idea?
Okay, so we were supposed to shoot our second episode, but that's when all the poop came up at the studio, and I'm like, dude, I'm not about to bring a guest down in a studio that smells like shit. But yeah, the podcast is
I think we talked about this before the interview, but his studio got flooded, so it's filled. The septic got flooded, and he's dealing with all kinds of issues.
I think a sewer line broke because the building's from the 1800s, and I think like a sewer line broke and then like backed up through the storm drain and like the sewer drain at the studio and like flooded everything. Dude, it was bad. But yeah, so my podcast that I just started is called Industry Nightmares. Mm-hmm. And what it is just a show that we talk about all the crazy and sussy things that go on in the music industry, kind of like what I just told you about the Battle of the Band story. Like, we talk about stuff like that. We leave names and dates and like all the we don't talk shit specifically, but we talk about like our truths. Like we talk about what we've gone through. My next guest is a guy who shoots rap videos in Chicago.
Oh, and sick!
I talked to him. He's had a friend get killed on set.
Holy shit!
He's had someone shoot at him at his last shoot. His last shoot. And he's gonna let us use the footage too. because it just shows him getting lit up and like dropping to the floor while he's recording. And yeah, so but it is, yeah, we just talk about all the crazy stuff that happens in this industry. So Industry Nightmares is not just specific to music. Like we could talk to like chefs, cooks,
just industry, like any
industry. Yeah,
that's
it's
dope.
like it's such a broad thing, you know. Like everyone's got horror stories. Like people who work in retail. Oh my gosh, I worked in retail. That was, you would have to pay me so much to do retail again. That was terrible.
I never want to do that ever again either. That's the worst.
Just entitled Karens. What's male Karens?
Male Karens.
Male, like, isn't that weird that it's like Karen? There's like there's not another name like for a Karen for a male. It's just a male Karen. That's kind of funny. I just realized that. But yeah, so we just talk about all the crazy stuff that happens in anyone's industry, but mostly music lately. So yeah, the next guest, his name's Kevin Phelps. I'm trying to get him down there sometime this month. So I'll probably just do like one a month right now, just to kind of so I can focus on everything else going on. Because I'm actually just finishing up my album right now.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's pretty different from electronic. It's not really.
Yeah, what style is it?
So it's like Juice WRLD meets like Lil Peep meets like Kid Cudi meets like Blink-182. It's just like a weird. It's with Post Malone vibes. It's like it's kind of it's really different. But
I'm excited to hear that.
It's like sad boy music with a positive message, and
Awesome.
I feel like that's kind of been my MO with a lot of the songs I've been writing, is just like kind of sad songs, but you know, in the end, it's like, yo, we all get through it. We all go through shit. But yeah, so I'm finished putting the final touches on that. I'm probably going to be putting out a single pretty soon, just to like tease the album and get some visuals done, like a music video here. And yeah,
excellent.
It's pretty happy with how the sound is coming out, and it's co-produced by Felmax as well.
Sick.
So Felmax has been.
He lives like 30 minutes from me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude, awesome. Yeah. So yeah, Daniel, he's helping me out with the production side, and we're writing some pretty interesting. Like we just keep pushing each other, like pushing the envelope, like trying to like come up with the next sound or like a new thing. And like he tweeted the other day, he goes, "Do you guys want to see me make more like specific music or keep doing what I'm doing?" I'm like, "Keep doing what you're doing, dude, because it's like so different."
Yep.
So, yeah, we're just trying to like carve out our own sound, and we also have a side project that is just like me and him.
Cool.
It's called Bad Moods, BADMOODZ, like all one word, and it's like that like super sad boy stuff, but yeah, with like trap drums, and so we're still working on that too, and it'll probably be a while before you hear about that, but. Yeah, I just want to really get some of my own music out, because I've been doing nothing but features for the past
couple of years, right?
5, 6 years, and I have yet to release any solo music. So, I'm really
I'm sure
excited.
You're excited for that, yeah.
Like my Spotify is just over like 750,000 monthly listeners, and I just really want to get to like get to that million, you know, million monthly listeners, and then like be able to put out my album. And so things are looking up right now. Lots of new collabs in the cooker with some bigger artists too that I can't really talk about right now, but just know there's going to be it's going to be fun, dude.
Excellent. So just to wrap up here with the last couple of questions, I know this is kind of a difficult question because really anything can happen, but where would you like to see your career be at in like 10 years from now?
Dude, I want to be on world tours. I want to have my own chain of studios. I want to have, my own label. I want to, dude, I mean, just basically everything you can do in this industry. I want to be fluent with Cinema 4D and like Blender. I want to be able to do like all the 3D animations and stuff. Like, 'cause like I said, I do have a graphic design background, and I want to really exploit that. Yeah. And,
I personally really like graphic design as well. So
dude, it's so fun.
So much fun.
Yeah, we got to be creative, dude. It's like not only because like, dude, ADHD. So like, dude,
Yeah.
dude, I'm undiagnosed, dog. I'm running around like a psychopath, dude. Like I have no medication, and I feel like that this is my medication. Like being able to have an outlet, being able to like just create on the spot. Like I have, I could open Photoshop right now and make like a dope logo, and just like make a few bucks off of it, like just so I can get a meal or so, dude. Oh my god, I'm gonna get a homeless, or I'm gonna get like a homeless sign that says like I'm not homeless, I'm just a musician. Anything else? Like, I'm not homeless, I'm a graphic design artist. You need a logo, dude. That would be a viral TikTok actually. If
that
I
would
did
be funny.
Oh my gosh, dude. All right, well, you heard it here first. If you see it on TikTok, and it goes viral.
Awesome, man. Well, last couple questions. Before we ask those last couple questions, do you have any questions for me before we head out of here?
How long have you been podcasting?
Ooh, December of 2020 was my first episode, so like
Nice.
almost 2 years. Yeah.
Wow, dude. And you love it, obviously, dude.
Oh yeah, I love it.
It's so cool.
I love talking to people.
yeah, that's what this industry is all about, man. Like I said, making those personal connections.
Yeah, and it's really helped with like the networking and like getting my name I started with like being very active in like my local community and stuff, which is dope.
Yeah.
And especially like the Bay Area scene is pretty cool, but it's really allowed me to grow a name and show my face within like what I like to call the quote unquote pro leagues, where like I go to Los Angeles and I know like a lot of the people playing and like building those relationships, building friendships and stuff.
You've had people come up to you?
Yeah, a couple times. Yep.
Isn't that such a good feeling, dude?
It's a very surreal feeling. I'm like, wow, all right, people are actually like know who I am, who I don't know who they are, but they know who I am. This is weird.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm super happy for you, and like, I'll share the fuck out of this podcast, dude. This is super dope.
Thank you for your time today, and thank you for you're such a good storyteller. So I appreciate that. Sometimes guests aren't like that, and it's difficult to like carry a conversation.
Yeah, dude. Oh, my back hurts from carrying this whole damn conversation.
Yeah. Where can listeners find you? How can they support you? Obviously, stream your music.
Yeah, stream my music. Just Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Honestly, anywhere you can hear music. I think some of the touch tunes machines, like we or the AMI beat. But go to the bar, put $1 in. I think I get like 1/10 of every penny from every dollar you put in there. So if like 1,000 of you play my song, I can get like a can of soup. So
nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Want to get that Campbell's?
I get that Campbell's. Like cream of mushroom, man. No. Last question, if there's one piece of advice you could tell yourself when you first started working music, what would it be?
Dude, it'd be like, stop selling these for $200, you fucking moron. Like, dude, you're undercutting everyone that does vocals, and B, you're gonna lose a lot of money that you could put towards your career instead of begging investors at this point. So, yeah. But if I had that money back then, I probably would have fucking blew it on my ex-girlfriend or something, dude. So hey, everything happens for a reason, dog.
Facts.
So I tell myself literally that, so I'm just conflicted. I'm like, so charge him $200? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, do you, bro? And then I disappear.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, man, and I really appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Justin. Thanks for having me, dog.
Hell yeah. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, peace.